Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. Jawa's getting involved in this match. I'm re-recording the audio. This is Grand Arena, the first match, final week, season 71. Originally I played like 95% of this match before I realized the microphone wasn't picking up any audio. So here we are, but it does mean we're going to be playing this at 1.5 speed, so it'll move along a little bit quicker. We'll see if I can capture some of the same topics that I was talking about and discuss some of these matches in similar ways. But you know what? I was pretty tired when I was playing this one, so I don't think I was particularly engaging. Not a huge loss. We begin this week in Kyber 2, right about in the middle at 3,500. We went 3-0 the first week. Last week we went 1-2. So we've dropped very slightly, but it should make things a little bit easier this week. We had some tough matches last week, and I was only able to sneak out one of these battles through playing dead. This final one, I should have won this last one, but I got terrible fleet RNG, couldn't get through. With the first matchup against Daywalker, he didn't have any problems at all. I think we maybe got one hold, maybe none. Yeah, I guess none. This match, I knew I couldn't beat this guy if he played. So I decided to, after a couple battles, I would just stop, let him think I was done, because we needed multiple attempts to get through battles, so it looked like I had just given up, because there were holds on some of his teams. He put up 181 banners, which was one more than the 180 I left it at. Then I waited until the final 20 minutes, because his history just showed somebody who didn't really participate. And then I just burst through in the final 20 minutes to secure the win. Little gamesmanship there. And then this final round, my defense did so much work. My defense was crushing. He did full clear, but it did take him a ton of attempts. And had I full cleared, I would have been able to win. But the fleet RNG was just awful. So he did Cadme, Swallow. This thing didn't work out for him. Ahsoka up against Jabba. That's a little weird. Afra, Great Mother. Then we have Fifth Brother up against Rey. Sirjunda, Jabba. And we're looking at JML, SLKR. That wasn't going to work. Then you can see he took multiple attempts up against Fleet. He lost the battles, but he made progress. Like, he took out the Houndstooth here on the Executor. He took out the Bomber and the Dagger and the Scimitar in his first attempt with the Endurance. And that set him up in a situation where he could ultimately clean up, even though it took him a number of attempts. And we see on the back wall, Trench getting some holds, Wampa falling to Ithano, and that's nice because those are low star characters. Yeah, and Ithano taking multiple holds. Standing up to Rogue One, but not the Rogue One Kron. This week my matchup is up against Garrett, who is 500 kgp smaller than me. He's about 40 Zetas fewer. We're looking at 20, well not 20, about 20-ish Amis fewer, about 12, 16. GLs at 9 relic units. I've got 10 more. And then when we look at the relic distribution, you can just see I have more tier totals, but most of them are coming in at tier 5. The best account in the bracket, is he even on screen? No, he's just off screen. You can see the tier 9s though, 29 and no, these are the two best. Oh no, he's right here, Orkan, 66. So Orkan is the best account in the bracket. He'll probably be in the final round. Mod-wise, though, I'm in a really great place this bracket, where I am third in mods, and my opponent is very weak. My opponent is the worst in mods in the bracket, by far. Datacrons, I'm number 1. That is almost always going to be the case. Orkan is participating. I'm kind of surprised Orkan is at this level, because it does look like he participates. Maybe he was up traveling or something and slipped a little bit, but he should be the guy coming out on top this week. 2 players with Hondo. Everybody else has everything, and then we are looking at the modding, and just as an indicator of the quality of the modding, I am beating him on almost every GL. He doesn't even have a complete set with Ray. We got triples on Melgus, slow Star Killer, triple Ami, no Afra at all. The only player in the bracket without Afra. A lot of these characters looking pretty slow. Qui-Gon, slow. Swolo's really slow. Single on Third Sister, double Malicos. We got nothing on Jar Jar at all. Fugitives in progress. We've got a 303 CX and a 297 Jocasta. Nothing on Zelbar or Night Trooper. But some of these other characters looking okay. Looking at the quality of the modding, Garrett is pretty poorly modded, which should be expected from the counts that we were seeing, but it's way shallower than even I was expecting. His final 300 speed character is Padme, putting him at only 28 characters modded at 300 speed or better, and I am at 64. So you can just see how my account dwarfs him in terms of speed. And then that starts coming into play with a number of these characters falling below that threshold with Luthen or Cadme, JKR, CLS, Baylan. Like, all of these characters could be significantly faster. And what it means is it's very likely that my defense is going to perform very well, and my offense is also not going to fall victim to much RNG. Now with the defense, he started attacking a little bit at first. We were playing mainly around the same time. So I think he had like 3 attacks, and you can see he has 175 banners up. We got Ahsoka, Jabba, Third Sister. He took out a couple things down here. He's taken out Finn, and we have SOKR and Sortie in that area, Maul. And we need to be dealing with his defense. And what we have is Mon Mothma, Great Mother, SOKR, Third Sister, and Captain Enoch down at the bottom. In the lower territory, you can see more GLs. We have Cadme, Ahsoka, Jabba. We have Rey, Swolo, and Lord Vader. Now we start with the GLs. We're going to begin with Rey, because this is the riskiest one for me. And it's one that I'm trying to refine how I play it, because my success rate with Leia versus this thing is pretty weak. And for me to have the success that I'm looking for out of these next few seasons with these Datacron sets, I need my Leia to be able to counter Rey, and it's just not. Now, some of that might be relic levels. Alright, we're putting a weird cut in here because I don't know where I want to cut things. I started rambling and then decided I didn't like the version of things I was recording. We are doing Leia versus Rey Swallow. This is something that I think is going to be critical to this season. I want to get it right. But it's not really working for me all that well. My win rate is very poor. I think most of that is modding. So we're pulling turn meter from Drogon. Now here's the mistake I think I made. I watched footage, the person did conflagration, so I went with it. But I think this goes much better if I had stealth. Now I am doing the stagger ability, whatever this thing's called, I don't remember what it's called. Doing that even though I know I can't get, I can't get stacks right now. Or no, I can't now that the damage immunity's up. But now I can't get stacks, but I still did it because I wanted to start stacking the mastery, but I lost Drogon. Had I been stealthed, I would still have Drogon. So that's one of the things I'll be refining next time. But I need to get through Exile, which is not looking good right now. We can't do any damage. We can pull Inspired away. We throw down a stagger, but this is going terribly. And his mods are not good on these characters. Like his Swallow is slow. His Exile I didn't pay attention to, but I don't think it's all that great. And without Drogon, my ability to win this match is unlikely. So this went as terribly as it could go, and it's a perfect illustration of why I'm concerned about this match and why I'm trying to refine it. And why it's important to do homework. Because the video I watched, I was following. It's wrong. He had a more optimal situation, or either better layout or other factors. Okay, I think I fixed the audio levels because I did capture the computer audio, so I would like to have some of those sound effects, but I need not be monitoring one screen while we're recording. So anyway, we're doing Sirjunda Maliko Starkiller, which is not going... It has a very low win rate. It's like 50% at best. I did win with it last week, though. I had an amazing match, the roller coaster match, where I did get the right RNG for this to work. But that's what I'm counting on. And it is not a situation I want to be in, but I don't have anything else on my roster that can actually beat Ray with Exile. Exile just really complicates all of this. But at a minimum, Sirjunda we know can prevent revives. She does pretty well, puts us in a pretty good situation. So we go for the Dispel. We hit some of those stacks of Inspired with the assists. Now we're bringing up the protection up. Maybe I could have done a basic. I'm just stacking up towards the Unleashed. But since we can't call assists onto Exile, things are a little bit tougher. I'm debating, do I want to do the protection up or do I want to throw the Saber? I go with the Saber. It's enough to get through the protection up, but not to make much more progress than that. We do the basic. Now we do the protection up. We survive the big hit. They dodge everything there. We throw. Still not in a great situation. We're at 75%. Protection back up. Now we chuck it. And this time we get a nice big hit. He didn't have protection up. We do the damage we need. But you can see it is over from here. But now we are in a position where we can clean it up. And we will return to it later. Because I wanted to determine which counters I needed or did not need. I didn't want to get stuck. So here, we shift over to SLKR, and we are going to just approach this with Bane. I need to adjust the screen of this. Can I do that right now? Because we're cutting off some stuff. Let's try that. So it looks a little better. It's still a little off. So we are going to increase cooldowns. Now we can AoE take out Ray, or we didn't quite take her out, but we're pretty close. Got the healing immunity, now she's gone. We can increase, and now we can siphon more and take them out nice and easy. I think last week I messed things up just because sometimes in other game modes I like to siphon first. And then I come into Grand Arena and I do it the wrong way, because in Grand Arena it's important to actually increase the cooldowns. But if I'm like in Conquest, if I'm in territory battles, Siphon's fine, because Siphon you start upping the stats. And up against Ahsoka, this I'm going with Baylan, because he doesn't have Hu Yang, he doesn't have Exile, so this is going to be one of those easier teams to counter. I tried the team he put on defense, on my defense during week 1. Wasn't doing anything. So I took it off and just consolidated some good characters to try and do a little better there. We're going to shift into stealth to focus the attacks onto Baylan where I want them. And then the AoEs are just ripping these characters apart. And we can shift to auto to take care of the rest of this. And then maybe we can slip in a little nonsense, because this doesn't matter right now. Or, you know what I want to talk about? Let's not talk about nonsense. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about Smuggler's Run 3. Because one of the things that's happening is we're getting this new tier of the event. Well, I guess it's not even a tier. It's a new event with different characters. And these are going to have the pirates. It's going to have Pirate Hondo. We don't know everything about it. We do know we're going to need some characters at Relic 9. And there's always a question within the community of, is it worth the investment? Now we will return to this topic. We have things to approach here. We are now shifting over to Mandos, bringing in Bo-Katan, Grogu. This is an easy counter that I am really going to miss this counter once this crown is gone. Because that means we're going to have to be dealing with Lord Vader in different ways. Much more annoying ways. But actually, you know what? I think Maz Kanata beats Vader. Maybe that's what we're doing. We're just shifting to Maz Kanata after this is done. They gave us the solution. Never mind. This was a concern that was valid before Maz Kanata showed up. Maybe I'll try that in one of the subsequent matches. But I really needed Maz in this match. She gave me a weapon that I really needed to be able to balance some of these things. Because this opponent did give me a very tough puzzle of a defense. Yeah, so we did Armor Shred first. Because I liked to do the mass assist onto something. And did we already do the mass assist? Maybe. Vader's down. Down. Dots trigger the revive. There we are. So Vader's down. Now we've dealt with some of the Geos. But now we have Rey, Jabba, Cadme. Now this is notable because I have a standard counter up against versions that are lower than Relic 9. Relic 9, I'm going to use a serious counter. These Relic 5 versions, even a Relic 7 version, I've been doing this. I've been doing Saw, Luthen, Chirrut, and it works all of the time. I probably have a 99% win rate if it's not the high Relic versions. It stops working at a certain level, but it always works at Relic 5. And I'm saying all that, if you haven't picked up on it yet, because this goes very poorly. Now, some of it could have been because I was talking and not really paying enough attention to optimize things. Some of it might be because the mark land on Qui-Gon instead of Pow. But I don't think that any of that all really matters. Although I will look at this a little bit afterwards. The modding on Pow, even though he's a little slower, it's very good on offense. And I think that's part of the reason that things went the way that it did, is because his Pow was just bursting through my trooper really fast. Things kind of go okay for a bit, but we never really regain our footing here. Yeah, like, we need a couple turns to get going, and his Pow is just wiping out that trooper. We don't have the marked back. We heal up, get a little more of that health up. It boosts the synergy a little bit. But it's going to happen right now. Wipes me out. Like, I'm just shocked that a Relic 5 version did that to me. He did have a little bit of turn meter at the start of the battle. I don't really think it should have made that much of a difference. And then we'll look at Pow's modding for a moment. You can see he's got some of the right pieces here. Not amazing mods though, to be honest. Alright, we got Jabba, we got Cadme. The only thing I'm concerned about is nobody in this guy's history got to the back wall. No one's full cleared this guy. Which means I don't know what he has back there. And I am concerned about that. Which means, like, using JMK up against Jabba or JMK up against Cadme are things we don't want to do. But he doesn't have the Swordy Crown on Jabba, so I do know that I can use Wampa there pretty safely. But I also want to make sure he doesn't have Leia on his back wall, because if Leia's on the back wall, then I am going to want to use Wampa there, because that is a much harder battle than having to deal with Jabba. There's multiple ways we can deal with Jabba. Now, JML, use him to clean up this Ray Swallow. Little concerned about the Kron, but not super concerned, because it's not a very good level 9. You can watch the Datacron video about that. With basic, we're going to drop, or no, not drop a shard. We're going to put the protection up and get the retribution and increase the cooldown. We stun, and then boom. That was pretty surprising. I didn't expect him to just one-shot him like that on a basic. I mean, it's inherited teachings basics, but it's still a basic. And as we keep going, we got Wampa now. Yeah, where was I? Okay, so, yeah, we can talk through this match. There's nothing to talk about here. Yeah, so what I was saying about Smuggler's Run 3, about whether or not it's worth it, I think there's a little too much emphasis placed on the return on the investment calculation and not the kinds of moats that are created by gaining early access to these kinds of events. When you are able to engage with them earlier, you are speeding up your roster development and you are eventually getting ahead. Now in this case, it's about mods, but the people who are going to be investing in mods, they're going to be able to increase the quality of their mods a little bit faster. Okay, so you can see here he's cleared up a couple more things. SOKR is the only things left. Now we have Third Sister to deal with. We got Great Mother. Third Sister is the concern, because there's not a lot of counters right now, but it doesn't have Ninth Sister. That makes things a little bit easier. And am I doing this one right now? Yeah, okay, so we're going to do Melgus here. And we're doing Melgus because it's really the best counter left. Because we don't have Bane. Bane would have been a good counter. C's not going to do it without Bane. So this becomes the shift I want to make, even though this has been my counter for like Tarkin. So I'm a little concerned about Tarkin. Concerned about some of those back wall teams. Really, I should be exposing the back wall before I even do this. Am I going? And I don't even consider that. We just go, well, I think I go with it because there's just, this is my only way through Third Sister at this point that makes any sense. We can muddle through other teams. We can muddle through Tarkin, but Third Sister with these Krons, it's this. So we don't have Taunt, drop the Dark Deception on the Grand Inquisitor, and we can drain life now, and this will take out the Grand Inquisitor. We weren't able to heal up though. One stack of the Dark Infusion, drop a Shock over there, and what we have ability block, so I can't. Okay, now she can't taunt, so I can go after 7th, but now she's cleansed. And I go basic. I'm deciding to save that Shock, but it's also a Dispel, and I kind of want it in case we have Third Sister taunting. So I'm going with the basics. Now we take out 7th. We can't heal with this, but I was trying to get another stack of Dark Infusion. We didn't even get it, which that doesn't seem right. Like, I get that, like, because it does health effects, percent health effects, it's not going to do anything to Third Sister. But I feel like I should get another stack of the Dark Infusion when I do that time. Maybe there was a evade or a dodge. I don't know. I guess I could go back to the footage. Don't care that much. But that is apparently what happened. Okay, hit. Boom. Now the final one. Yeah, so this takes care of Third Sister. We're in a pretty good spot. We just lost one guy. Do I have to get to another Dark Deception to finish this off? Jeez. And boom. Now Tarkin, Mon Mothma, and Great Mother. And the things we can do. We will have Darth Revan Zelbar, which I only have a Gear 12 Zelbar, but I have been using it in at least one other match, and it went okay. It gives me a Great Mother counter. It does add flexibility to my roster. Which is why I like to build out. Even though I might not have relics on everything, just building out wide, it's giving me a lot more flexibility. All right, now I have to do JMK here. There's a couple different ways to play this. I think in 5v5 I would do it differently. In 5v5 there's an argument to just one-shot decoy and try and get through her quickly before the cooldowns reset on Cadme's, so that you can just focus on a character while decoy's gone. That I've done in 5v5 before, but here I'm just trying to get to the maximum ultimate and ignore taunt. But the risk there is sometimes you are just stuck with the cooldown manipulation and you can't get the attack off. We're at 89%. 98, which is a little annoying. Would have been nice to trigger it. Putting our attacks onto POW. Trigger the ult. We get those assists. POW's healed up. And now we can just take out Cadme. And we know there's stealth is coming, so we went after Qui-Gon. I just knew POW was going to be someone I would have to return to later. And it's handled. Now we have this back wall. And with the back wall, we can see some high quality teams. Baylan, Enoch, Gungans, Jedi Master, Mace Windu, and there's a Finn Zori at the bottom. I need to do a better job showing that stuff. Not because I'm recording over the footage. I'm seeing that my face is blocking it. I'll do that in the future. So I'm relying on memory that the stuff is correct. Do I need to skip ahead? I feel like I'm being a little too verbose right now. There's a banner change, so we are going to go check on how my opponent did. He cleared the SOKR, which took 3 attempts. And he's taken care of the Leviathan fleet. And in this area, still hasn't made any progress. So now we return to the regularly scheduled programming. We got Baylan. Baylan, we're doing Maz. I am not going to play this correctly, but it's going to be okay. There's a bunch of different variations. Almost every single one of those variations, except for ones that are like with Sana and Nest, win 100% of the time. There's not a deep pool of history though, so I don't know what's optimal. I was going between Silvo or SM33. I went with Silvo because he's got some mechanics with his Ami that I wanted to tap into. We have the Hondo Kron, so definitely bringing in Hondo. He's just going to be a high-powered character for the matchup. Now, I should have captured, and I didn't. I decided not to because with the Kron, I know I'm going to get to the 10 stacks just by using the basic. And I thought that that would be better instead of risking to maybe accidentally losing Baylan, which I think it was just overthinking it and being dumb. Now, because of the kind of thinking, I've lost everybody. But this Hondokron is very good. And we are ultimately going to be fine. We don't have a way to control this damage immunity, which is a little annoying. But we are strong and can find plenty of ways around it. Counterings are doing a lot of work. And now it is dealt with. We have a... What am I doing next? Okay, here we can just do Afra, quick and easy. And this is a dominant counter. Well, I guess maybe dominant's the wrong word, because you do lose a little bit of banners. Because the recovery on these characters isn't super great. It's pretty fast, though. Yeah, we don't really need to worry about everything. Yeah, we're good. Next, I'm probably going to do Sith Eternal Emperor up against Jedi Mace Windu. Yeah, we are going C up against Mace Windu. The Jedi team, C is just going to dominate this. Really no way to do it wrong. An easy solo. We're linking Mace and Deepa. You could probably make an argument for linking Jocasta. I'm going Deepa because I felt like she was going to attack more. Although I know his Jocasta's fast, so maybe I should have done Jocasta. Because we looked her up. She's 298 speed. I have no idea what the Deepa's at. Cover protection a little bit. They're rifled. That doesn't do much up against GLs. 84% to the ultimate. Trigger it and blow them up. And chuck it. We lose a little bit on banners, but we're fine. Now we're looking at Gungans and Enoch. Little concerned about Enoch, but they don't have the Night Trooper Kron. Looking down below, he's attempted one on Third Sister. Rey is not attempted. Now Gungans. This is easy. We can talk nonsense through this. We've done this a million times. Okay, do I need to say anything else about smugglers? Yeah, so the point I was making is just about investing in things versus being concerned about the Relic 9 investment. One, Relic 9 investment is going to get a little bit cheaper. They are going to, they haven't announced this, but I think it's safe to assume that with the release of Relic 10 and these Relic Delta stuff, you can presume that Relic 9 is going to get slightly easier somehow. It might be a tiny incremental amount, but it all counts. And the sooner you are gaining those benefits, the more momentum you build in your account. Things just get a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And it's just like a snowball rolling downhill. So that's why going after these mod changes is going to be worth it, I think, for players. And for when I advocate how to build out new accounts, it's to go wide very early and build towards events. So you are maximizing your resource income so you can reinvest into your roster as quickly as possible. It's the fastest way to be going. You can be using a lot of the assault battles and the journey guide for crystals and other resources. And also with the Smuggler's Run event in particular for new accounts, I think that is put off way too late because it can be done very early just by unlocking Young Han, who can do it at basically any level because he has a protection up mechanic with counters. He can basically solo it on his own. The Smuggler's Run event is one of the best ways to get credits in a Young account. Especially now that credits are cheaper, that effect is even multiplied. Alright, he has not done anything different. Taking out one more fleet. Okay. Now we've got this handful of squads left. Oh yeah, here we're doing Mace Windu. There's different variations, not Kelleran, we're going to do with Temple Guard. It looked like basically any version with Temple Guard won 100% of the time. So I am wondering if I made some bad calls. Or if there's other things going, or like I need to be optimizing play or something. Like maybe I should be using the other ability there. Or maybe the Deepa Balaba version, because of the synergy she has with Mace, is just the better call. Which more people were using. Because I have so many Omnis invested on Jocasta, I went with Jocasta. But you can see how we are almost losing Mace. It gets going pretty terribly. We AoE. We rifle. Maybe I should have hit Tarkin here. I think that's the other thing I could have considered. Because then he just blows me up like that. And I think that was the way to do it, because we could... Tarkin was the way they were doing damage. Scorch we could have dealt with later. I think some of that is just the way I played it. Now we're getting light on counters. But I do have a plan here. We got Darth Revan, and we have my Gear 12 Old Republic with Mission and Zelbar. But we invested in that Ami now, so we can do things. This would be much better at Relics, because it would take them longer to get through my Zelbar. But we've done this before, and I know I can win with it. Except, when I faced it before, there was Marin, and now I have to face Zombie. Which means I cannot attack the right characters in the right sequences early. But Deathmark is gone. A little concerning. Fear. Boom. We have Fear. Skip the turn. I'm gonna basic so Zombie doesn't attack me, because we are doomed right now. If they hit me, we're gonna be gone. And we take care of it. A little scary, but we got through it. And now we got just a couple things left, and I just really want to yawn right now. I guess I didn't get a ton of sleep. Now, Enoch, Night Trooper Kron. This, I decided we're gonna, did I decide to try things? The win rate on some of these isn't great, but like I was looking at possibly doing CLS because I have the CLS Kron, or I have Jedinet Revan. I go Jedinet Revan because I've done this before. There's a flaw to it though, is you don't always get the situation you need to take out the clone trooper, the clone trooper, not the clone troopers, the remnant characters, the remnant troopers, the zombie troopers. But you mark Enoch and you go after Enoch. And here we're just feeding turn meter over to Yoda. Taking out Enoch means that it'll be easier to take out these other guys. But the Krons are impacting things. So we're swapping turns, we're healing up. Just feeding turn meter and turns to Yoda. Trying to go as fast as possible. And now we have taken down Enoch pretty quick. And now it's a little scary, but we can go and make sure we heal up Jolie a little bit. We bring back Jedi Knight Revan, the Relic 8 investment into Jolie for territory battles, has done nothing for me. I love to bring that up every single time. Just how useless he is. Now, I went after Death Trooper. Maybe I should have gone after Night Trooper. I actually don't know who's smarter to go after. I don't trust the auto, which is part of the problem here. Because with a strategic advantage, auto's going to throw it onto Jolie, and I think that really slows down how fast this team goes. Because then you're waiting for multiple turns from a slow Jolie before that strategic advantage keeps going around. You also have Revan not always swapping into the right location, so I am manually playing it, but it is slowing me down in a way which means I'm not going to have enough time. We will shift to auto at some point soon, though. We're at 4 stacks. Just going through turns. And we can keep bringing them back. This is why I bring in the Jolie version. And we have hit the auto. Minute left. We're at 8 stacks. 9, last one. And there it goes. But we don't have enough time to do any of this. Maybe had I autoed from the beginning, but I don't know. I still don't think we have enough time. But it's an easy cleanup now. We'll just bring in CLS with this Kron. I think I probably should have tested out the Kron first. Because we get exposed and everything, and that's going to potentially do more. And we just blow it up. It's just immediately over. Now we just have that. Is it a cleanup that we have left? Oh yeah, cleanup and Mon Mothma. Just checking in on him, see what he's doing. Now here I decide we're going to have a little bit of fun, because at this point I'm feeling pretty confident I have won this match. Or do we do that in a minute? We're doing Rogue One first? No, we're going to have fun first. We got Forlom now. I want to try out Forlom, get a little bit of flavor. But I don't have Zetas on Aura Singh. That is one concern, but it does look like a lot of the damage is there, so we're going to use her. I was hoping with the Bosk lead we just would add enough survivability that the Gear 12 on Forlom would be fine. And as you can see, that's debatable. We're able to taunt, but then they blow me up and it's over. Nothing to test. Never really get going to try anything. Now Tarkin will take care of this, or we'll take care of Tarkin with this. And it'll go quick. And we'll be shifting over to Fleet. Bite, bite. I do wonder how that would do with from the start. I might try that next time. So here, they are putting a lot of attention onto Radis. Swapping over to Radis, we bring back Cassian. I'm gonna hit Rebel Trooper because I don't want counters to hit Radis. I'm trying to I'm just being a little bit more careful. Get some attacks. Blow them up. You know what I need to do? I need to time that better to prevent revives. Because I'm doing this in the least efficient ways. Mon Mothma's gone. And we're basically done. You know what? I need way more. Okay. Now checking below, he has made no progress. Maybe he was waiting to see what I was doing. Maybe, I mean, he's been in and out, so he might just be busy with other things. Now we got Profundity, Executor, the Endurance, but this we have an easy way through. Now it does mean we need to do Endurance versus the Executor. We could do Profundity, which would easily win it, but we need to do a Profundity mirror. We'll have to do Endurance here, but this works much better up against... No, that's the Scythe. Never mind. Now this, at some point, is not going to follow some of the notes. And like, I took some notes either from Arnold's footage or from Bit Dynasty's footage about how to play this. And I just refer back to that. And not always goes according to things. Now, because the contract has already happened, I don't think there's a point to bring out the Ebon Hawk, so I'm bringing out Anakin. I think I should have done a basic, though, because I think it would be better to have that buff immunity and that AoE now. Instead, I'm stuck behind a taunt. And we lose some ships. We AoE. We take out the Slave 1, and we're gone. But we made a little bit of progress. We're going to bring in the Scythe. And with the Scythe, this is a scenario in which it actually does a little bit better when the Houndstooth is not on the front line. These triple attacker lineups, it does a little bit better because you don't get stuck behind the taunt. You can focus where you want to focus. And that was a good opening. They didn't go after the Scythe. They have tenacity up, so I don't think the ability block matters right now, so we're going to do the basic. Get tenacity down, we're going to hit. We're going to go into the formation. You know what, I forgot to... I could have... Oh, I know, I couldn't bring out a reinforcement because all the slots were occupied. Now we can. So I like to stun the Razor Crest, because the Razor Crest starts causing problems, and now while stunned we can just start attacking this thing. Get a little bit of turn meter. And formation up, but Houndstooth is on the way, and that dodge was very bad. Terribly timed dodge. We bring out the Interceptor. Throw down an AoE. And there we've lost the scythe, problematic, but we have the ultimate, which is enough to take down the Razor Crest and put us into a decent position. We're not going to be able to finish this off right now, but we have at least made it an easy cleanup. And I think, oh, you know what, we're in the wrong screen. I need to be in this screen so that you guys can hear some of the battle audio. And we're going to make a cut pretty soon to when I discover that I had not been capturing the audio. I think we do the profundity. I think it's during the home one battle is when I realized. Now profundity. This is just standard stuff. Now here I should go, do I do it right? I should have mass assisted. I don't know why. I know why I did. I just kind of forgot what I like to do in my head. What I want is the reinforced hull from the capital ship. That's what I'd like to do. Because it makes it more survivable when that attack happens. I think it reduces the RNG in my favor. So they got Rogue One coming out. I'm going to bring out my own Rogue One. And do the middle ability because it's automatically going to call the Outrider to assist. And we have taken out its tank. And now we can start working on eliminating the Outrider and removing their win conditions. They bring out the Phantom, I bring out the Bomber. We're going to basic. Now here I could go after the Falcon, but I know we're probably not going to take out the Falcon, and I would rather get rid of the Phantom so that when the Ghost arrives, we don't have to deal with that annoying synergy, or we can't effectively attack any of them. Now we eliminate the Ghost because I'm just expecting that the Falcon will wobble, do the outmaneuver, and we're just not going to be able to attack it as desired. So just ignoring it. Somehow I don't have the ultimate yet. I feel like we've been getting great RNG this entire match. Okay. Now, which battle do I do next? Okay, so we have this. Okay. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna remember this. This whole time the audio hasn't been captured. I just realized. In like the final two battles. I'm gonna have to re-record all of the audio. I'm gonna have to remember to make a cut to know that this is when I realized that I wasn't capturing audio the entire day. Jawas. I feel like I want to go after the B-Wing. I guess it doesn't really matter because everything's an AoE. This okay, so we get a little turn meter. I really think this matters right now. I need to. I'm getting the healing immunity off. That's a little annoying. I think we're fine. I want to taunt. Okay, and now AoE. That B-Wing has just got wrecked. Okay. Master plan. Ooh. Ah. This is not going great. Right. Fine. Well, I guess I'm not posting this video tonight. I'm gonna have to re-record all that audio. And I'm not re-recording audio this evening. Okay. Now, definitely removing the turn meter. Definitely the hunted. Well, we didn't remove turn meter, but whatever. We got the other stuff. Okay. Now, let's get a big hit. Awesome. That went perfectly. Car alarm has been set off by a motorcycle. Yeah, feed. He's got foresight. And you know what? Let's clear the foresight because we can't do anything. We can't stun because he had turn meter. Alright. I'm going to try and stun here. We got it because I don't want him to taunt. Alright. Stun. Oh, he dodged. Would I rather? So we inflict target lock if it's a crit or dots. I'd rather do the target lock. Awesome. Ability block. Feed turn meter. Big hit. Alright, so we'll bring out our friend. Stun. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna need to set up a situation where I have a big hit right now. Boom. Okay, now I can clean up with the Radis on the, what's it called, the Negotiator. He's still going. Let's check in on him. Alright, he took out Fleet, which was expected. Did it clean. He wants me to give up. Okay, took him 2 there. Alright, Radis should do it. And if Radis doesn't do it, I'm in trouble. Okay. Terrible opening. Oof. Gain turn meter. We don't need to worry about that. Is that dispel? This dispels, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to give him turn meter. We'll pull turn meter from Marauder. Can't heal though. We're just going to go with the Mass Assist, AoE, take down Anakin. Perfect. We're going to lose our tank though. Alright, that triggers the AoE. Big hit. Awesome. Marauder's down. Now we'll lose our tank. Deflector shield. I have too much going on tomorrow to have to re-record all this audio. Come on. Really? Really? There we go. All right. Is that it, or do I have one more? I can't even remember anymore. Am I done? 1891. Man, that's low. Can he clear my ray? We're going to stick around for, well, I guess I'll pause and we'll return. I'm not going to end this until we have a result. Yeah, we'll pause and return. I think at this stage I can call it. Put in 2 attempts. He hasn't returned for a little bit. I guess it's possible he might return, but I think it's safe that this is a win. It's a surprisingly hard-fought win. A lot of things I thought were going to go a little bit better than they did, especially considering his mods aren't great. He got held up. Ray, this Cadme team was a surprise, which I have to re-record my response to. Tarkin was that a surprise? No, that wasn't really a surprise. We goofed around with that one because I thought we were pretty safe. And then this back wall, Enoch was not a surprise. You know what? This went pretty clean, other than that one battle. And then Fleet was a bit of a mess, but we got through it. All in all, not bad. And is he really done? Yeah, he's done. This is a win. Defense holds. And there's one thing that I was considering over here. I was debating whether or not I should take SOK off because it would make my offense so much easier. But I think it's also quite a pain. It's not going to help this week, but I got to look at my Leia and the modding. I need to have my Leia to be able to beat Rey 100% of the time, and right now it is not even close. All right, let's wrap it up. We're going to be busy with videos. We got a Forlom video I'll throw in the corner. I'm going to have a roster video out shortly, and then we're going to have videos on feats for the next feats for the next conquest, a kit reveal on Stranger. We've got a lot of things coming that I'll be working on the next several days. So keep an eye out. Thank you for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.